The winners here, if we're looking at the SEC, as you mentioned, of course, the Jimbo Fishers there, the Nick Sabans of the world, the Kirby Smarts, looking at those three that are usually staples when it comes to the CFP. Are they the winners after what happened today?
I think so. I mean, they're going to be the winners in all of the college football playoff picture, because we're going to be opening up the conversation to allow more teams to compete in the playoff. But I don't think that we're actually going to be introducing more teams to winning a national championship. Clemson coach Dabo Swinney came out and said, I don't know if there's 12 teams that are capable of winning a national championship. And I agree with that sentiment generally. I think that when you look at somebody else who might be a winner here, it might actually be the players, because the response from players has been very, very mixed in terms of whether they support college football playoff expansion. Anecdotally, I can say that, players from Alabama and Clemson, two programs that have made it all the way to the national championship game, they have each had players express, I can't imagine playing another game. The wear and tear that not just the number of games, but the level of competition in those games at the very, very end, I mean, it is just absolutely brutal on the physicality. So I do think there is a path forward to college football playoff expansion, but it's going to have to include some changes to the way that college football is played, the way that rosters are constructed, how many scholarships. I think that from a player safety angle, the players might be a winner here in that there's going to be some changes to the sport before they're asked to play the more games required of a 12-team playoff.
You mentioned the losers, of course, the Big Ten, but the Pac-12, look, for years, they've always been the outside looking in when it comes to that 4-team format. If you're the Pac-12, this just seems like another hurdle you have to get over to even get into the playoff field. I just don't see how it happens for them once again. It seems like, oh, well, you know what? We missed out on another opportunity.
Well, George Kliavkoff, the new Pac-12 commissioner, is very disappointed, and he has said as much in his statement here today. He was pushing for expansion. He is very much in support of it, which means that this so-called alliance between the ACC and the Big Ten and the Pac-12, clearly this is not something that they are on the same page on. The Pac-12 has had very limited experience in the college football playoff, and there is no doubt that the Pac-12 champion or other top Pac-12 teams would have a shot at being able to get in there. And I'm glad you mentioned the Pac-12, because George Kliavkoff is one of the reasons why we don't have everybody on the same page, because since January of 2020, more than half of the Power 5 conference commissioners have changed over. Kevin Warren took over in the Big Ten in January 2020. Since then, we had Jim Phillips at the ACC. George Kliavkoff at the Pac-12 has followed. So these are all new power players within the dynamic. And I think that that's why Bob Bowlesby and Greg Sankey, Bob Bowlesby of the Big 12, Greg Sankey of the SEC, they seem to be so disappointed, because they are really feeling like some of the same conferences that were pushing forward the idea of the college football playoff and college football playoff expansion, even, that they are no longer in support of that expansion. And it's making a really poor look for the decision-making process of the college football playoff.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.